Hey guys, it's Tina here. Welcome back to Best in Beauty, a series where I take you to the most popular places for your beauty needs. In this episode, I'm going to be getting a special keratin lash and brow lift from one of the leading lash salons in Singapore, Lash Chapter. So how I found Lash Chapter was actually through a friend. She had gotten her lash lift done there, and I was like really impressed because I saw how lifted and curled her lashes were, and I was like, where did you get your lashes done? And so she told me about Lash Chapter, and I checked out their Instagram, and I'm pretty impressed by their before and after photos. You can see how lifted and long the lashes look after. And it's because they use a special type of lash lift solution. It's from a brand called Yumi 2.0 is their most updated one. I've been doing my research. So this is different to a lash perm, where lash perms can really damage your lash, whereas with a keratin lash lift, it actually adds keratin and vitamins to your lashes, therefore creating less damage. Now in the past, I've tried different lash lifts. So I've got it done at a salon a couple years ago, and I tried to do it myself. Like this video if you remember how that went. Both times I wasn't able to get this type of result, so I'm really excited to go see the trained therapists there at Lash Chapter and see if they can help me out with my lashes and brows. This is the Lash Chapter salon. It's a nice cozy lash boutique in Singapore. They have 3 locations, and I went to the one at East Coast. When I arrived, I met my therapist Moon, and she started off with a cleanse for my brows because we're going to get started with the brow lamination first. So she's just removing any debris or oil or leftover makeup I have on my brows. Next, she's actually doing a temporary brow lift with some glue just to show me what my brows will look like afterwards. So she's just applying the glue and brushing my hairs upwards, creating the shape. And once she's done, she hands me the mirror just to check if I'm happy with it before she actually starts with the brow lamination process. Once I give her the green light, she actually removes the glue, cleanses that brow again, and gets started with the process. So this was really interesting because I thought that we would have to apply glue to keep the hairs into place and then the lifting solutions afterwards, but she actually said that the first solution she's applying right now is like a softening solution, so we don't need to glue the hairs in place. So she's just applying the first solution all over my hairs, making sure she covers each one. And then it's left on for about 15 minutes, so she covers it with a little bit of cling film. That way, whilst we're waiting for that to process, she can get started on my lash lift. So again, she starts off with a cleanse. And then she places little eye pads underneath my eyes to protect my skin as well as my lower lashes. Then she sticks on the lash pad. As for the sizing, we went with a small because I have short itty bitty lashes. So some glue is popped on the back of the pad and adhered to my lid. Using a little bit of glue, she starts brushing back my lashes to adhere it to the lash pad. Then she used the little lash lift tool just to comb and press my hairs so it sticks against the pad. For lash lifts, I feel like it's super important to have a well-trained therapist because they know how to position each hair and separate them nicely so that when the lifting solution is on, it locks it in place. Once Moon is done with the lash placement, she goes ahead and applies the first solution close to the root of my lashes, but of course avoiding my eye. Again, this is left on for about 15 minutes. She then goes back to the brow lamination, so she removes the first solution and brushes my hairs back, and you can kind of see that my brow hairs, they're pretty easy to brush and position now that they've softened. So she's just using another brush to sort of like remove the solution but also brush the hairs upwards into place. And then she applies solution number 2. This is going to lock in the hairs. So she applies a generous amount of that, and then afterwards she uses a Q-tip to just clean up the edges. And again, this is left on for about 15 minutes as well. Back to the lashes. She pretty much does the same thing, removes the solution and applies step number 2. I feel like it's really time efficient to get both your brows and lashes done at the same time, because as you're waiting for one area to process, the therapist can work on the other, so it doesn't actually take a lot more time if you do both. Afterwards, the brow solution is ready to be removed, so Moon is just removing that using a little brush. Then she applies the third solution, which is actually going to help nourish the hairs. The lash lift solution is then removed and then a tint is applied. So this is going to help darken up my lashes, make them look a little bit thicker. It takes about 10 minutes for this to process, and we went with the color black. The tint was then removed and my lashes were carefully separated from the lash pad. Moon was really gentle with this when she removed the lash pad from my eyelid. I've had other places just pretty much like rip off of the pad and that hurts, but she was so gentle. And she gave my lashes a thorough cleanse. When I saw my lashes and brows, I was super happy with the results. My brows look super fluffy. afterwards moon shaped them up a little bit and just cleaned up the edges and any rogue stray hairs. Let me show you guys some before and after photos. So before, you can see my lashes are straight and my brow hairs grow generally like downwards. Then this is what it looks like afterwards. My lashes are super curled and my brows look so much thicker and fuller. So it's been a week since my treatment and this is what my brows and lashes look like with makeup on. Every night I have been applying a keratin treatment just to help nourish my hairs, and this is apparently going to help make the results last longer. So the therapist told me it should last about 4 to 6 weeks depending on your lash cycle. As for the prices, the Yumi Lash Lift and Tint costs $80, 80 Singapore dollars, and for the brow lamination it's $100. I feel like this is actually pretty cheap compared to like other places, especially in LA where they do like the Yumi Lash Lift and brow lamination. I think they charge about $150 per service. This is like USD. So I feel like Lash Chapter is pretty affordable. Now, if you're interested in either of these treatments, you can literally just Google Yumi Lash Lift or brow lamination and your area, because there's lots of salons that's trained in this and have that product. So I think it's not gonna be too hard for you to find a salon near you. But yeah, overall, I love the results. Highly recommend it, because you saw my short itty bitty lashes. Now you can actually see them. And apparently the Kardashians use this sort of lash lift solution. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. And that's it to this episode of Best in Beauty. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out some of my other episodes and click subscribe. You know you want to. I'll speak to you guys next time. Bye.